The following program is produced by students of the Brian Lamb School of Communication at Purdue University.
On this edition of Fast Track, we do a little bit of investigative work as we take a look at how some Asian restaurants are breaking the law every day around lunchtime.
And later, we take a look at how a new communication course is combining students from multiple majors in hopes of creating a new path of study for those interested in professional filmmaking. Fast Track starts now.
Welcome to Fast Track. I'm Liz Van Ostenberg.
And I'm Taylor Briscoe. Every day around lunchtime, if you walk the campus around the engineering buildings, you've probably seen cars selling food out of their trunks. These are Asian restaurants that bring their food on campus, making it more convenient for students to purchase.
But is this safe or legally permitted? Reporter Taylor Briscoe investigated and has some answers.
Behind me and right around the corner, you will find multiple cars selling Asian food out of their trunks. The questions are, how long has this food been sitting out? Is it safe for our students? And why are they here without a permit? Claiming to be delivery cars, these Asian restaurants on the go say this food is fresh and has been ordered by students. It was time for that claim to be put to the test. How much is it?
$6.
$6. Okay. Hang on one second. Here you go.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, $14.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we had water and spoon.
Oh, thank you.
And napkin right here.
Do you have any receipt or anything?
No, we don't have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
These cars can be found multiple places on campus, their hub being near the nuclear and electrical engineering buildings. They park in a 20-minute loading zone from as early as 10 a.m. until after lunchtime. There are often waiting lines of students, primarily international, at each car leading up to lunch. Where this food was from and who was selling it was still a concern. And also, do you have any menus if I wanted to get this during dinner or anything?
The dinner you called 765-746-6922, but if you go to the online, you go Hunger Border and see the Chinese food.
Okay, what is the name?
It's Harbor City.
So I just went up to the truck to see if I could purchase food of my own, and it worked. They gave me this box full of pork and chicken meal. Let's open it and see what it looks like. Looks like a lot of rice, a lot of meat. And they gave it to me in this pretty generic thank you smiley face bag with the water. It was $6 and no receipts were made available to me. And just for the record, I obviously did not order this food. This is not a delivery service. So this stretch of parking lot was filled with about 3 to 4 cars selling food out of their trunk just before we got here. It's now 12:18. Prime lunchtime in our opinion, and the trucks are gone. As soon as we went to approach the man that I purchased food from, he sped off in his van. Students in the area were very familiar with these cars and had some mixed reviews.
Because one time I got food, but it feels like it was more like a leftover food, like with the mixed. So after that thing, I don't purchase anymore. They like when I walk down the street over here, they just call me to buy those food, so even if I don't want it.
I think it brings the convenience to us, and especially to the Chinese people. And their food is good and save us a lot of time.
I thought they were the shadiest thing ever my first year here, and then I realized that people I knew were actually eating there, so I was like, I guess I'll try it.
Tippecanoe County Health Department Administrator Craig Rich says there are countless issues with what Harbor City and these other restaurants are doing.
Right. The biggest issue that we're concerned about is in order for them to make all that food, it takes hours and hours. They're putting it all together, they're sticking it in their trunks, they're not heating, they're not cooling, and it's really a timing issue of, you have food that's been cooked to temperature and now it's going to be out of temperature for long periods of time. So it is not safe.
So the man who did sell me the food back at the food car said that he did work for Harbor City. So since he left us, we're here to find him. You don't prepare food that goes on the truck?
No.
Okay.
I'm just a waitress.
Okay. Is there someone, is there like a cook or something? The first employee found in Harbor City was a waitress who said she did not speak English very well. We're just trying to piece together the story and give you all a chance to talk.
I'm sorry, I bet.
Okay, we'll wait here for your manager then. Okay. As you can see behind me, there are carryout boxes, just like the one I received on campus. However, the woman working here says she has no idea what I'm talking about when I bring up the car on campus. The man who sold me the food eventually came out of the back and agreed to speak. The problem is, do you have a permit to be there on campus?
Actually, we don't have right now, so, we just the student, they want it.
But Rich says the selling of food out of their car is only the beginning of Harbor City's problems, rooting from their storefront location.
The issue they're running into, in order to get a permit to sell on Purdue, they have to have a passing inspection score from us.
Do you see anything maybe a little wrong with selling out of the back of the car?
Yeah, I think so. It's not legal, but we want to have a permit. We want to be legal.
Rich says if and when they pass an inspection, that dream of a permit could come to life. Until then, reporting for Fast Track, Taylor Briscoe.
Let's take a look at the current weather conditions from Fast Track's meteorologist, Alita Donnelly.
Today throughout our area, we were in the lower 30s. As here in Lafayette, we reached a high of 33, Kokomo high of 31. Down in Indy, it got up to a high of 37. We did stay mostly clear throughout the day today, and that is why our highs are a little bit above round average for this time of year. Current conditions, 32 right now. Feels like 30 outside though. We have the humidity fairly low. Southwest winds, high today is 33, and the low tonight will actually be average at 25 degrees. For the evening, if you are going out, you'll start off with a temperature of 32 degrees. We can actually include the sun in that since the sun doesn't set until 6:30 now. Then it'll drop down to 30, dropping even further by midnight down to 28 degrees. But then for the full forecast, stick around and we can see when the rain does start to hit us and impact us during over the weekend this weekend.
Thank you, Alita. Students in COM 497 are in the process of producing a short film titled Slate. The film is about an aspiring comic book artist named Calvin who uses his drawings as a way to escape from his life struggles. The class includes an ensemble of hand-picked students whose talents and backgrounds bring a diverse approach to a project of this scale, which has never before been done on Purdue's campus.
Professional actors, along with Purdue's visual effects department, have already agreed to the project, which will begin filming in April. Students hope that this course will continue to grow and allow graduates to become more prepared as they walk onto the professional movie set. The students in COM 497 have already produced a short crowdfunding video in hopes of collecting $12,000 to invest in this project.
Slate is the story of Calvin, who is a down-on-his-luck aspiring comic book artist who uses his drawings as a way to escape and become the hero he ultimately wishes he could be. We want audiences to ultimately relate to Calvin because he is that everyday guy who goes through the same struggles that we all go through. You know, he has those inner demons and those inner struggles that many of us encounter throughout our life. And even though he doesn't always handle them in the best way possible, he does overcome them, like many of us, by being the hero that his loved ones see him as through those comics. And I think that's something that is very powerful and will resonate with a lot of people.
The biggest difference between our short film and other student films is the crew that we have on board. The crew's majors range from economics to visual effects, communications, filmmaking, and engineering. Their talents are very unique and they can all bring something amazing to this film. They've worked on national projects, feature films, short films, and I can't wait to see what they create for our film slate.
Your funds will also help facilitate the post-production of Slate.
With this, we'll be using an entire Adobe post-production pipeline. We'll also be partnering with Purdue Visual Effects, and this will afford us the ability of using a full green screen studio, glide cam systems, motion control rigs, and a 30-foot crane. This will allow us to create production quality that previously hasn't been available to students on our campus before.
This project is the first of many to come. Our goal is to create a new path of study at Purdue University for students interested in professional filmmaking. With your donation, you'll be a key component in making this possible.
I'm Roberto Montica, and I will be the actor representing the character of Calvin. What drew me to this project originally is knowing how big the superhero industry is today. But this takes place right at home. This is something that a lot of people will be able to connect to, I believe, the same way I do, because I know I failed. And Calvin fails tremendously, time and time again. Yet it's not the moments that we fail that people remember. It's the moments that we get back up. And I believe that if we get this funded and are able to produce it the way that we dream, we will not only feel like superheroes, but you will too.
A lot of hardworking and talented individuals will be helping this project come to fruition. And when it's all said and done, a little over 40 students will have left their mark on this film. The funds that we raise will help go towards facilitating the talent, and it will not only do that, but it will also help give future students an opportunity to work on a project of this scale. Thank you all for your support and for joining us in this incredible experience. We're looking forward to bringing Slate to you.
The men's basketball team is wrapping up their season this week with games against Maryland, Nebraska, and Wisconsin. But the season wouldn't have been complete without a trip to Bloomington to face Purdue's biggest rival, the Indiana Hoosiers.
For this week's edition of Fast Track Sports, reporter Trevor Peters made the trip down south to catch one of the greatest rivalries in college basketball.
Well, Assembly Hall in Bloomington was certainly alive tonight as fans from across the state packed the house for what Purdue head coach Matt Painter called the most important game of the season thus far. Rivals Purdue and Indiana found themselves ranked in the top 25 for the first time since 2000. And in the season's only matchup between the two teams, it was the Hoosiers that took down the Boilermakers 77-73 in a controversial finish.
We watched it on film, and it looked like a clean block. You know, obviously I'm going to say that, but after watching it, I'm pretty, objective as a coach after I watch things. But the thing that I like about the play was, he made a good play. You know what I mean? Like after you get down or whatever, you wish we could have squared Yogi up and he couldn't have gotten that deep. We could have got a jump shot. But I thought Hammonds made a good block, on the play, but it didn't go our way.
The game truly was the tale of two different teams as IU's perimeter shot 12 threes from 7 different players. Purdue's big men down low forced IU into foul trouble and got the job done in the paint as Hammonds, Haas, and Swanigan combined for 39 of the Boilermakers' 73 points. But in the end, IU won the game in the turnover battle as they outscored Purdue 20-3.
If we don't talk, we don't get here, we don't get there, they just dribble drive, they either get a dunk or they get a three. So, if we just eliminate turnovers, we don't even have to worry about that. Most of the games we lost, it's turnovers. That's the story right there. You can't really say much. Every game we lost this season just came down to our turnovers. You look at our turnovers column and every loss we had, and that's the story.
A near collapse by the Hoosiers in the end gave Purdue some hope heading into the final minutes. The Boilermakers finished the game by making 7 of their last 8 shots. Yet despite a late comeback attempt, Purdue's early turnovers and inability to defend IU's perimeter shooting were too much to overcome.
It was huge. BFL hit some threes. So a lot of credit to him for stepping up and making those. But I felt like it was our fault not closing out properly and not rotating right. And that was the difference in the game. I felt like, in my opinion, because those big guys were able to step out and hit some threes.
But like Coach was saying in the locker room, we really got a really good group of guys, and as you probably can tell on our faces, man, this one hurts, losing to your rival. But all credit goes to them.
With both teams still in the top half of the Big Ten standings, both the Boilermakers and the Hoosiers have 3 games left to boost their resumes for the start of the Big Ten tournament in just 3 weeks. Reporting for Fast Track Sports, I'm Trevor Peters.
When we come back, we are going to take a look at how opening an umbrella isn't always an easy thing to do.
And later, we take a look at what sweat, music, knives, and food have in common. Stay with us.
Chicago-based shadow puppet company Manual Cinema brings to life Lula Del Rey, a story that NewYorkTheater.com called visually stunning and surprisingly touching. Inspired by the music of Hank Williams, Roy Orbison, and Patsy Cline, Lula Del Rey offers a deceptively simple concept that brings hand-spun cinema to life in an unforgettable experience. March 5th at Lafayette Theater. Details at convocations.org. Presented by Purdue Convocations.
It starts with the belief that we can do more. Go beyond our borders, the world, and reach even the moon. We believe that delivering a world-class education and delivering value mean the exact same thing. It's pure gold. After all, where'd you think our colors came from?
Welcome back. Last Saturday, Purdue hosted the Rube Goldberg Machine Contest. The Machine Contest is an annual international competition that challenges teams of students from middle school to college age to compete in building the most elaborate and hilarious Rube Goldberg machine.
A Rube Goldberg machine is an overly complex contraption designed with humor and a narrative to accomplish a simple task. Fast Track reporter Spencer Huffmeyer had the inside look at the competition and all the ways you can open an umbrella.
Inspired by cartoonist Rube Goldberg, college students nationwide compete to design a machine that uses the most complex process to complete a simple task. This year's task, open an umbrella. This competition pulls students away from traditional ways of looking at problems and sends them spinning into the intuitive, chaotic realm of imagination. This year's competition was hosted by the Purdue Engineering Student Council. Jana Mudrock, the coordinator for this event, was excited for the spectators to get to see the machines up close and personal.
Well, Rube Goldberg is just a lot of fun. It's a great way to see the different problem solving and creative techniques that teams come up with to solve the given simple task, and it's a lot of fun for us to host.
There were 8 teams in attendance, 4 high school and 4 college teams. The college teams consisted of 3 from Purdue and 1 from University of Illinois. Much consideration goes into the elaborate design of the machine's 20 or more steps. 2 first-place spots will be awarded, Division II for high school teams and Division III for college teams.
So we have 3 judges, one from our corporate sponsor, another is an engineering alumni, and then someone else from the College of Engineering. And they are grading these teams based on a lot of criteria, including the reliability of the machine, how elaborate the steps are, and how entertaining the machine is.
Matthew Hicks, team captain of the AMET team, took home first place for Division III. Hicks says that Rube Goldberg has many benefits for the high school students and encourages them to compete.
I think it just teaches kids how to think outside the box. One, it sounds generic, but think outside the box because it's basically an open canvas for you to just do anything you want. So it comes straight from you, straight from your thoughts, straight from your planning.
In April, the AMET team will travel on to nationals to compete and hopefully bring home a prize. Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Spencer Huffmeyer.
This past week, the forecast had its ups and downs. We had some beautiful weather and not so beautiful weather.
Let's throw it back over to Alita Donnelly for an extended weather forecast for our area. Alita?
The high today here is 33 degrees, but as you can see further southwest, we do see more warmer temperatures, and that will start to push into our area for the day on Saturday and into the day on Sunday, and you could possibly see a high of 60 degrees for Sunday. For current conditions though, 32 here in Lafayette, 30 over in Kokomo, and 35 down in Indy, but we will see those temperatures start to decrease as we do hit the overnight hours, and we do have clear skies tonight. Going to the history book now, you can see that our high today, 33 and 25, high and low, will actually be around average low-wise, but a little bit below average for the high. Normal, 42 degrees, low is right on target for this time of year. The high, record high, 66 degrees, and I would be thankful that we're just not down at 3 for our low for this time of year, which I would be very miserable with, and I'm sure the rest of you would be as well. We can see that cloud cover is fairly widespread throughout our area, and there is a little bit of thicker clouds further in Illinois. That will actually drop to our south, and we won't see that hit our area as we do see clear skies tonight, and all those clouds do move out for the evening hours and into the day on Saturday. Moving to radar, we do have a little bit of spotty showers further south of the state, but then even with that, we only see it a little bit south and nothing too severe as we do see the rain start to push out. For the early morning hours on Saturday, we can see some lake effect up in the northern portion of the state, but that actually won't hit us, which is good because I don't want any more snow, and I'm sure the rest of you won't as well. We do clear out for the day on Saturday, and then Sunday is when things get interesting. Out in Iowa, we can see early in the morning that we do have the spotty shower further in the northwest of Iowa, and that will start to push through the state and into our area throughout the day on Sunday, but it will slowly move through Illinois and into Indiana throughout the day. And we don't actually start to see more weather until the evening hours on Sunday, as we do see the first batch of showers push through, and there's a second batch that will push into our area through the early evening hours on Sunday. It pushes through quickly as it starts to move eastward. It does actually intensify, but that will be further east of us, so we should stay fairly clear after it moves out. Moves out quickly, and we could see some more snow showers up further north as some lake effect, but we won't actually be snow because we are going to be in the highs around 60 on Sunday. For the lows tonight, though, we do have Kokomo at 24, Indy down at 29, and here in Lafayette over at 25, and further north it's a little bit cooler. But then for Saturday, a high of 48 degrees, mostly sunny as we do start to see the winds increase throughout the day on Saturday, so be aware of that if you are going to the basketball game. We'll see beautiful conditions as the high temperature of 3 o'clock before tip-off will be around 45 degrees. Tip-off, temperature of 46. We reach our high in between 4 and 5, and then by the time you get to 5 o'clock and 6, when the game's about to end, you're going to be at 45, and the temperatures do start to decrease from there, but it shouldn't be too bad for the overnight hours on Saturday, as our low is 37 degrees, which I'm sure, considering we've had that as highs for the last week, that'll be a good thing. There are some it will be partly cloudy as we do see a little bit of cloud cover in the area, but we'll have calm winds, which should be a good thing for the day on Sunday. A high of 57 degrees and a low of 33. We do start to see rain showers push in through the afternoon, and the cloud covers does start to push in as well, but that rain doesn't move into the afternoon and early evening hours, and it's quick moving, so it will be out of our area fairly quickly. Moving to the 7-day, you can see that we do actually see no rain on Monday, which is always a good thing. Tuesday, though, we see rain move back in, and that's where we can see some significant rain. Little chance of snow on Wednesday, about 1 to 3 inches on Thursday, so just be aware of that for an early March snow shower as we are preparing for that prior to the weekend for next weekend, which we should clear out by the time we reach then.
Thanks, Alita. So what does sweat, music, knives, ovens, and food have in common? The answer is the Boiler Culinary Throwdown.
Last week, Liz Van Ostenburg visited one of the many events that happen at the Purdue Student Union. This time it involves something almost everyone loves, food. In its 5th year, the event becomes more competitive and popular throughout campus with more creative and exciting food created by Purdue students.
Modeled after the popular television show Chopped, the Boiler Culinary Throwdown consisted of 5 student teams competing for 4 hours to be the last team standing. The Purdue Student Union Board hosts a wide variety of events and activities that students from all over campus can come and enjoy. One of them is the Culinary throwdown. The throwdown drew in a crowd to the South Ballroom at the Purdue Student Union, ranging from Boilermakers who love food to people coming to support their friends battle it out in the kitchen.
This is extreme, but it's so much fun though. Like the energy is all over the place. There's nothing that can be said for how just amazing this is.
Zach First, one of the student competitors, started cooking when he got to college. He applied some of his parents' recipes and cooking styles in his dorm room. Then, when he moved off campus, he started exploring his own style of cooking. And soon his friends jumped on board and decided that joining the Culinary throwdown was a no-brainer.
And we just clicked so well. We're really different people, and the fact that we've come together like this is absolutely fantastic.
Teams had 3 different rounds, consisting of an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert, where each team had to be creative and incorporate cereal into each dish. After each round, a panel of judges would then have to send one of the teams home.
You know, it's not super easy. As a chef, it's easy to judge food, but when you're working with students who are so excited, they all want to do a great job, and they're all super pumped about this event, it's hard to send somebody home. I wish we could keep them working, but you know what? Our job is simple. We got to pick the best food at the evening.
Amberish Lule, who has been invited to be a judge every year, is the department head of the School of Hospitality and the executive chef at Westwood. He says it is so difficult to have to send one of the teams home at the end of each round.
We also look for things like, technical things like, is it served hot? If they say crispy on the menu, was it really crispy? And just overall creativity, the amount of complexity that the amount of effort they put into the food.
One of the most important roles of the overall night was Bruce Homicers. He is the executive chef at the Union, and his role was to make sure that all the teams were successful. He works with all the teams from the beginning, starting with the application process, to picking teams, to helping them create their recipes, and finally keeping them on track during the throwdown.
At the end of the day, my whole goal is to make sure that they're successful. No one gets embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed by putting them out in front of everybody and they're not able to do it, and they're not embarrassed by not being able to do it. And if they stumble, it's only because they've burnt something or mistimed something or didn't practice enough. Excuse me, but it's on them,
Not only do the judges get to try all of this food, the students and public who head to the Culinary throwdown get to try some food as well. Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Liz Van Ostenburg. Purdue musical organizations are among the largest student groups on Purdue's campus.
Currently, the Glee Club has students from many different states, but recently, PMO organizers have wanted to reach out to local high schools to recruit. Julie Villanova has the story.
It was all smiles and claps at the 2nd annual Men's Choral Festival. This festival acts as a recruitment program to bring in men from area high schools to inform them about what the Glee Club does and also what other Purdue musical organizations have to offer.
So today we joined everyone together and ran through 3 songs that the Glee Club has been learning on their own and the schools have been learning on their own. We kind of fine-tuned it, and then at the end of the concert today, all of the schools will come and join the Glee Club on stage and sing those 3 songs for our audience.
Students from surrounding high schools gathered for this all-day event to learn about music and bond with such a unique group of college Glee Club members. PMO Scheduling and Events Coordinator says that this event is a chance to really sell how great Purdue musical organizations are. They talk about scholarship opportunities and ways that students can grow.
We give over $350,000 in scholarships every year. We have a couple Glee Clubbers that are on completely full rides. As a non-academic unit, that's amazing that we're able to offer something like that.
Whether a scholarship is your incentive or just the pure love of inspiring others through music, the Purdue Choral Festival gives potential new members a view into the Glee Club's world and how they feel comfortable in their own skin.
It's really important for high school students to see what we do. It's really encouraging because I know as a high school student I was really self-conscious about my desire to sing and how I felt about singing, and it just made me really self-conscious because not all guys sing in high school, and it's kind of like one of those things where you're not really sure of yourself. Not everyone's doing it. You're kind of weird about it. So for high school guys to come and see what we do and see us do it confidently and see us having fun while we're doing it, I think really motivates them.
Glee Club freshmen have nothing but good things to say about their first year being a part of a Purdue musical organization. Being that Purdue is a Big Ten university, it has made the campus feel smaller, just like a home community, and provided them with an initial 60 best friends.
I feel like anyone who joins Glee Club or Purdue music organizations in general, they find out a lot about themselves. And most of the time, I feel like it's a really good thing. It's really what people need. It's what people need to adapt into the college atmosphere.
If you are interested in joining the Glee Club or another Purdue musical organization, visit www.purdue.edu/PMO. Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Julie Villanueva.
Before our last story, let's take a final look at weather to see what we can expect this weekend. Alita?
For tonight, we'll see a low of 25 degrees, clear skies, as we do have a little bit of winds pushing into the area. However, though, for the day on Saturday, it's going to be a gorgeous day with the football game, as we do see a high of 48 degrees and a low of 37. We'll see mostly sunny skies and increasing winds, so just be aware of that. If you are going to the basketball game Saturday afternoon, we will see tip-off temperature 46 degrees. By the time the game ends, the temperature will be around 45. So for the evening, if you are going out after the game, hopefully the Boilers win, and we will see what happens against Maryland. Then for Sunday, we do start to see cloud covers start to build in throughout the day on Sunday, as we do see a high temperature of 57 degrees, a low of 33, and the chance of rain showers for the afternoon and evening hours on Sunday. So just be aware of that if you're going out for any weekend plans.
The Lafayette Art Museum has been a place to showcase many art pieces throughout the years. Located in Lafayette, this museum houses many collections that are shown.
There are 5 exhibitions per year showing different artists and illustrating themes such as Black History Month. It has been in this community in Lafayette and continues to grow with artwork and events. Fast Track reporter Rachel Bibler has more on this story.
The Lafayette Art Museum is home to a wide array of art collections. Beginning in the early 1900s, a small group of artists had met at clubs in other areas to collect pieces of art. This transformed into building a museum, and since then it has been accredited and grown in the Lafayette community.
This museum brings in artists from out of town for the most part, and this show is a good example of that.
As this museum has expanded, so have the opportunities for artists that have had their pieces displayed at this museum throughout the years.
I've known several artists who have kind of come up through the ranks and put on a big show here in the museum and then moved to Chicago and made it big nationally.
This museum has a special exhibit that showcases paintings that illustrate the life and history of African Americans. The painting that we see behind me has been bought in honor of the Black Cultural Center, and this painting will be represented at that building in future years.
The Black Cultural Center has been wonderful in sponsoring exhibitions in the past few years, and we had an idea for an exhibition featuring this artist that you'll see around you, and Renee Thomas, the director, was very excited, and we partnered together, and she saw the artwork, and it was just a good fit.
I really like this exhibit. I just thought that there's a lot of meaning behind it and showing the history of African Americans and just like the evolution of time, really. So it was just really cool.
And for some, this can bring about self-reflection about our culture and society.
Society in general just likes to put people into different kind of boxes, and how everybody is just put into some kind of, everybody's reformed from being who they actually are.
As this museum has established roots in the Lafayette community, this has encouraged community members to get more involved and learn more about the artwork at this museum.
I think we really strive for equality and engagement would be the 2 things I would go for. We always try to make sure that there's room for interaction with the community.
This is the ultimate place to display your work here in town. And in fact, in Indiana, it's pretty high on the list in most places.
If you'd like to visit this museum, take a yoga class, or learn more about how to paint, you can visit their website at artlafayette.org. Reporting for Fast Track, Rachel Bibler.
That's all the time we have for this week's edition of Fast Track. I'm Liz Van Ostenburg.
And I'm Taylor Briscoe. To see these stories again, search Fast Track Purdue on youtube.com and let us know what stories we should cover next. See you next week.